consumer from the government. Subsidy. I'm glad to note, Honorable Minister, as we hand over, last year UMEME was number 15 in the top taxpayers, which is good. We've come from nowhere. We are fighting for the top 10 position. And we're also recognized by the URA as the most tax compliant payer in 2024, which is a good thing that we are now turning into a net contributor to the government coffers. Not only that, Honorable Minister, we comply with the regulations and so on. Last year, our good regulator in our electricity supply industry, we were ranked the best, most compliant licensee at 90%. I think that's a D1 in terms of compliance. That compliance, again, is reflected in the way we serve customers, the way we improve efficiencies. As we celebrate these 20 years, I think we have built a foundation. It's not perfect, where the next operator will build on and take the sector to greater heights. Allow me, Honourable Minister, to extend my sincere thanks and a sense of gratitude, first of all, to the President for unwavering support and visionary leadership, especially in the electricity supply industry. Every time I've had the President, you know there is you mentioned something about electricity, about his big four to drive and turn around the economy. Others including transportation, financial services, and cheap labor. And because of its visionary leadership, I recall, Honourable Minister, vividly, when he was commissioning BEL after the 2006-2011 crisis, where he said, never again shall we go back into load shedding. Where even people are doubting, shall Uganda consume Karuma? Have you connected to Sudan? Have you connected to Congo? Shall we consume Isimba? Honourable Minister, I can say those big moves that were made in 2013 to sign off those developments, which now we are benefiting from, have carried us this far. Which leads me, Honourable Minister, to my next worry. My biggest worry is the rate at which power is being demanded. If we don't do anything in the next 3 years, we'll run out of power. I know there are other interventions, East African power pool, we can draw from Ethiopia, we can draw from everywhere. But based on what I see, we need to move fast if we are to be energy secure from a generation front. Of course, the government, general government, the executive, the legislature, the judiciary, and more importantly, you, Honourable Minister, you have been really supportive. Every time you call, every time I call, things actually move. The local governments have given us unwavering support. You can't deliver electricity without plugging into the LOC system, plugging into the RDC system. The local communities, the security systems at the districts, they have supported us to fight off vandalism, protect assets, but also to fight energy losses. So we appreciate the support. The security services, the police, UPDF, CMI, all those have been very supportive because you can't protect this massive infrastructure across the country without the country support system from the security agencies. Of course, the UMEME board, me personally, they have been very, very supportive to me. I appreciate all the staff and management. You have really done a phenomenal job in terms of driving this sector. And our motto was, we shall work, soldier on until 31st March 2025 at 11:59. That's the motto. And as we speak, staff are working actually, looking forward to 11:59. Then some of them will change overalls. Some of them will walk home with pride of what they have been able to achieve in this sector. We thank our financing partners, of course the World Bank that supported us at the start, the MIGA, IDA, the main World Bank itself, you know. They set up the framework for this concession to work. The IFC of the World Bank that gave us support through financing, FMO from Netherlands, Standard Chartered Bank, Stanbic, DFCU, and others provide financial institutions in Uganda. Your support cannot be taken lightly. You have created impact because those finances that you gave us, we transform them into assets, which assets have served the country, Uganda, to grow the sector to where it is now. Of course, sister sector agencies, GCL, DCL, TCL, our regulator, the ministry, IPPs, all of you really have made this sector shine to where it is. The capital markets, as a listed entity, we raise capital through the capital markets, has enabled us also to enhance our transparency, enhance our public accountability. Previously, they would think, oh, UMEME is owned by Babunji. Babunji is from South Africa. No, I'm a Ugandan. I'm born here. And the company is owned by several people, 40% of whom are Ugandans, and then we have other international investors. Our suppliers, of course, very, very critical, the media and other the shareholders and other stakeholders. This ecosystem has delivered us this far, and we thank you for that. And UMEME will continue as a going concern. It's not closing today. We will engage with our business partners to close out any reconciling items that are actually remaining. So today we hand over the operational management of this massive system in good faith as we continue to engage with the government to resolve any remaining contractual obligations between ourselves and the government. We appeal for patience from stakeholders as we go through this transition process. Thank you once again, and wish UEDCL the best as they take over the distribution and supply business effective midnight tonight. We live with a sense of gratitude and satisfaction on what we have been able to achieve. And Uganda is looked at, though the energy system is still in infancy, Uganda is looked at as a model of what other countries can do. We have received some, I'll give an example, requests from some country I will not mention for confidential reasons. Their losses are at 49%, and they are collecting 54% of what they bill. So their efficiency is at 25%. And they are crying out, they need help. They've come here to study us and say, how can we make it like Uganda has done? So as Uganda, we need to be proud that yes, the infant system we have now is built on solid foundations. All we need is turbocharge and grow it to greater height. We remain, Honorable Minister, at your disposal should you require any form of support within our means. And the management team has assured me they are available. We will share, we will show our colleagues, as we have been doing, the ropes, the critical areas that require attention to ensure that customers are not impacted in any way because of this transition. I call this, it was a known. We started, it was a 20-year project on 1st March 2005. The end date was 31st March 2025. Therefore, all speculation and so on should not be called for because this was a known event. All we are doing is we are fulfilling those contractual obligations as enshrined in our contracts. Allow me, Honourable Minister, to invite now my Honourable, my Chairman, Mr. Patrick, to say a few words from the board. And once again, I thank you and thank all the colleagues for the support you have provided to me over the last 10 years as CEO. Tonight I go home and I will sleep comfortably. This phone will get silent. You know? And whoever calls, I'll be diverting the calls to Paul. So Paul, your phone should be charged all the time.
Extremely hot. So we're in traffic, and this traffic is something else that's got to be addressed. And these hawkers are walking around selling all kinds of things. And my wife sees these people selling a fan, this rotating fan. So please, we stop the hawker. Please help us. We'd like that fan. The fan is 40,000 shillings. I'm surprised. 40,000 for this fan with a battery? But the ladies nowadays with their makeup, they need to keep cool. These temperatures were something else. I said, give me something cheaper, please. He says, I have this one, which you open like this, and you just have to fan like this. Ah, much better. Give me that one. How much is that? 10,000. For that, the other one is 40, this is 10. I was surprised. But these guys are very smart. He says, it's okay. Let me give you a cheaper one if you don't want to afford that. He had another one, he pulled out. It looked like the other one, but it was already open. 5,000. Excellent, give me this one of 5,000. I took the 5,000 one, gave it to my wife, and he walked down the road. 2 minutes later, my wife used it and it collapsed. And I started hooting for the hawker, come back, you've cheated us. The man comes back. I said, look at this thing you've sold me, it has already collapsed. He says, no, you don't know how to use it. That one of 5,000, you don't fan like this. You use your head, you move your head. So, the message today is you get what you pay for. UMEME, some people have been saying we're so expensive, we're all kinds of things, you're cheating us, but it has been a journey we have come on this country. I've been on this board for 15 years, over 15 years, and at the helm of the board. At the beginning, I was sitting on a board, but my management team were all Muzungus, expatriates. I am proud that we had a deliberate policy to bring Ugandans on board, and when I look at them today, I'm so proud of this team that has delivered UMEME in the last 15 years. It shows we can do it. Another big challenge I had was corruption. When I joined the board, we were number one in corruption, above the police, above everything. People forget easily. But it was UMEME, then police, then other institutions. We had a policy of zero tolerance for corruption. I made it my personal business to get involved. I invited groups of UMEME staff in chunks to meet me at Protea Hotel. I give them a lecture and talk to them. And I told them quite sternly, some of you will not be here in the next 6 months or 1 year because I'm not going to tolerate corruption. I don't care about the process and procedure and your unions. We will fire you on the spot. You go to your unions and sue us. I don't care. And that's the position I took from a private sector perspective. And all this protection they thought they had to go away. Slowly, we disappeared off the radar of corruption. You had to make UMEME a personal business. And wherever I went, I got to know the staff. I would stop when they are working and greet some of them. Eventually, they got to recognize me, most of them. Even when they are driving recklessly, I chase them, I hood them. When they realize it's me, they change their behavior. We had a culture of changing mindset. It's taken time, but we have done it because we had that period of time, 20 years. So we're handing over to you. 80% of our staff have been absorbed. So we're handing over to you a well-looked after, manicured, mindset-changed staff. I hope they deliver, and I'm sure they will. So mine was really to move a vote of thanks. I must begin by thanking His Excellency the President. Because if this man did not give me an audience, especially at the beginning, we would not have delivered where we were, where we are today. He's one man you could ring, make a call, I want to speak to His Excellency. You book the call, you wait. The next day he would call you. Now that was not very common. At many a time he'd call me, and I am in London or I've traveled, and it is 5 a.m. because that man wakes up very early and starts calling very early in the morning. When you pick up the phone, you are in London or 2 hours, 3 hours behind, you get up and you stand waiting, hold on for him. You hold on and hold on. They say, sorry, we'll call you back. You don't go back to bed. You have to stay waiting. That's the way we began this country. Because he was managing things directly. And if there was a problem, he'd call you. So I must give special thanks to him because it was something he paid particular attention to, electricity in this country. Thereafter, I've seen several ministers come in that Ministry of Energy, and I thank all of them that I've worked with. They have all been very supportive. With no exception, the current minister has really been a champion. Anytime you call her, you WhatsApp her, she will respond every single time. I thank you, Madam Minister, for that support. That culture you have brought, all your team, they all respond, and they are so responsive, Mr. Minister. The regulator, Ira, the lady has been a champion. No nonsense, very tough, but very fair. She knows exactly what she's doing. In the past, we had a lot of run-ins in with the regulator. But now we have had a smooth working relationship. We know what she stands for, and she always stood for fairness, and that was something we understood. I must thank the board with which I've worked. I've had a resilient board. And I always told my shareholders when I'd have meetings that I have to make sure that I am surrounded by people that are smarter than me. I did not want anybody on my board who was not as smart as me. They had to be smarter than me. Then they were useful to me. Otherwise I didn't need them. The board, I thank you in a very special way. None of them are here today, but they did an excellent job. They've been very supportive and they've done a very good job to deliver us where we are. The management team, as I've said, they've done an excellent job, especially Celestino, the CEO, because this is one man who has stood out. Before he became the CEO, he was doing his work, but people didn't recognize him. Now he's a celebrity everywhere he goes, and I'm proud of that, because he delivers. Wherever he goes, he's recognized. Madam Minister, please, it is good to recognize the people in your team, especially when you have a champion amongst them, because the culture goes through to the rest of the staff who work with him. He's done an excellent job, and many people doubted when we removed an Irishman who was the CEO before him. Said, how do you bring in somebody we don't even know? But this man knew the nuts and bolts of this business like the back of his hand. Until today, he has all the figures. Anytime I'd call him, he was always on alert. Thank you, Celestino, for doing an excellent job. My customers, I want to thank the customers, because to me they were personal. All the customers on UMEME's grid. I tried to relate to as many as I could. They did an excellent job to tolerate us, because we had a lot of challenges. People forget and they think that we live in Japan or Korea or America, where when power goes in 1 minute, they are jumping up in excitement. What the heck, power is gone? They forget where we have come from. It's been a journey. Until our grid is built overhead, most of the grid is overhead, not underground. In those countries, when it rains or doesn't rain or snow, their grid is underground. It doesn't make a difference. But here, every time there's a storm, UMEME is going to go. People are looking at us. So whenever power would go, even at times it would go in State House. And I have to shudder. UMEME, everyone looks at you like it's your fault, power is gone. These are the conditions in which we live. And so long as our grid is built overline, the branches, the trees, with our beautiful weather and our beautiful soils, rain will come and the trees, the vegetation will flourish. We have people who cut lines throughout the country. We are recruiting people to keep maintaining the lines so that they are free of these trees and shrubs. People take it for granted. But I'm glad we have delivered a 20-year concession. We are proud of our accomplishment. We still have a bit of work to do. Some people feel that the negotiations have got to continue. Yes, they are going to continue. I need to assure my shareholders that buyout amount is not what they expected. But that's for another day. We shall talk about another day. We shall have an AGM. We have worked in good faith with the government of Uganda, and I'm sure we're going to conclude these discussions. We have received our payment, the initial payment that was undisputed, and for that we are very grateful. For anybody who doubted us, Friday we received over $120 million in our account. I thank you, Madam Minister, for that payment. We're going to address all the challenges remaining, and we are here to support the new team led by Paul Mwesigwa, UEDCL, the new chairman. We are here, a phone call away, and we'll always be supportive. It's a contractual obligation anyway for the next 6 months. The people who wrote this concession 20 years ago, they were brilliant minds. Nobody could have envisioned what we shall be dealing with today. They tried as much as possible to capture all the eventualities. And even you today, as you take over, you cannot imagine what will happen in the next 20 years. Where would Uganda be? Maybe we shall be using EV cars at that time. I don't know. Maybe things will be completely different. But we had a very good plan. We put as much as we could in that concession. It has protected us, it has hurt us, but along the way, it has delivered us. So today, we hand over with a smile. Thank you very much, Madam Minister. It's been a pleasure really serving on this board, and I thank all of you who have been with us on this journey. God bless you all.
Another round of applause for the past speakers. Thank you very much, our chief guest, Honorable Minister. Allow me recognize the members of Parliament who are here. The Honorable Christine Bukenya Sendaula, woman MP for Chankwanzi. You are most welcome. And she sits on the Committee of Natural Resources. Allow me also, Honorable Minister, to recognize Honorable Juliet Agasha Bashisha, Honorable MP for Mitoma District, and she sits on the Committee of Natural Resources. Honorable Minister, allow me also recognize the Honorable Dr. Magolo John Faith, MP for Bungoho, pronounce it very well, Bungoho North, that is in Imbali. Honorable Minister, in the same vein, allow me to recognize the authority chairperson. I'm doing this, I think she was recognized, Dr. Sarah Wasagali Kanabi. Honorable Minister, allow me to recognize Director Joseph Hiria, who is in the capacity of the Auditor General. A round of applause for him. I guess we are also here partly because of his reason. We want to thank you for the tireless efforts that you have put in to ensure this transaction comes to a closure. Honorable Minister, allow me also to recognize Engineer Kenneth Kijuka, the CEO of National Housing Construction Corporation. You're most welcome. Honorable Minister, allow me to recognize Mr. Irumba Rogers Kaija, the Undersecretary of the Office of the Prime Minister. You're most welcome, sir, and feel at distribution. Honorable Minister, you realize that your endless list of achievements can't end. I've been with the media colleagues out there and I've been saying you are the most responsive media person. You respect the Fourth Estate, and we want to recognize you as colleagues in that trade. All right. Another round of applause for the Minister, colleagues. In no particular order, Honorable Minister, I want to take this single opportunity to invite the next speaker, and who is my direct supervisor, the Managing Director of UEDCL, Mr. Paul Mwesigwa. That hand clap is not enough, ladies and gentlemen. All right, thank you very much. Better one.
Thank you very much. Good morning, members. Honourable Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, the Honourable Minister of State for Energy, the members of Parliament present from the Natural Resource Committee and other committee members, the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Energy, the Chairperson of the Authority, the Office of the Auditor General, the Board of UEDCL Management and Staff, the Chairperson of Uganda Electricity Generation Company, members of management and the staff of generation, the Chairperson and Board members of Uganda Electricity Transmission Company, the management, the board, and the staff of UMEME, the religious leaders present, representatives from Uganda Manufacturers Association, representatives from the community, the Fourth Estate, the media present today, good morning again. Honourable Minister, today it marks a fundamental day which happened in 2005 when UEDCL handed over the responsibility and the assets to distribute power in Uganda on the 1st of February 2005. Now 31st of March, we've ended our concession with UMEME. We need to thank God for that. Honourable Minister and members present, allow me to briefly take you through what has happened. The operation of UEDCL are governed by the Electricity Act of 1999, amended in 2022. It has an asset ownership license that was issued on the 1st of March 2005 from the regulator ERA to own the facility for distribution up to 33 kV. That network was leased to UMEME under the lease assignment agreement. It came as a result of the need for the government of Uganda to attract private capital by that time, which was required in the country, not only in power distribution, but in all the sectors. And power distribution was among them. Therefore, the distribution network was concessioned to UMEME by the government of Uganda. Then the law of UEDCL was converted to the monitoring and checking the progress of the performance of the network up to the end of the concession, that's the day-to-day. So UEDCL continued to operate outside the network, which was concessioned out by that time, mainly the off-grid stations, because they were not concessioned, since they were not profit-making, and the private operator could not take them on. As a government company, we remained behind, and we worked on them. We've turned them around also, and now they are self-sustainable. We need to thank God for that, and the effort which UEDCL has done. As we speak, those rural areas which are far to reach, which were not commercially viable, they don't receive any subsidy from the government. We need to thank the regulator who has put an environment, enabling environment for those areas where we're operating, that they are now self-sustainable under the good governance of UEDCL, under the operational efficiency of a government company that is taking over UMEME today. Thank you. For that matter, over the past 2 decades, the areas which were in rural areas and were not commercially viable, which have turned around, with the support of power extension from the Ministry of Energy under the Electrification Agency. Some of them, they've extended the power, and the former off-grid stations, they are now on the main grid. And the few which had also been privatized to private operators up to 2017 and up to 2014, some of them had failed, but as we speak today, we've taken over 5. The takeover, Honorable Minister, of these private concessions outside the UEDCL rural area network came as a result of the cabinet decision in 2022, where the government, having analyzed UEDCL, our performance, our governance and efficiency, it was decided that all the private electricity distributors' license, as they expire, they shouldn't be renewed, but we should be taking over. We need to thank the government and His Excellency in particular, because Cabinet made a decision under the stewardship of our Excellency, the President of Uganda. Thank you very much for that decision. The decision that was done by the government for us to take over power distribution was mainly based on our presentation as UEDCL and the demonstration in terms of governance, in terms of efficiency, financial sustainability, digital operation environment of our systems. I can give an example. We've ran the recruitment process in a recorded time of 75 days, where we have interviewed over 2,995 employees. We've deployed 2 methods, the online interview models and the physical models. That is super of the highest order. But what have we based on? Our digital environment that speaks and communicates to the population and the customer that we deal with, where even the staff are part of our customers. And other digital environment, where we operate, we are stationed here in Kampala, and our first office in Uganda is 120 kilometers from Kampala, but we are in a position to speak, communicate, and interrogate with the network through all the digital mechanisms, SCADA, fleet management system, human resource environment, and the customer and the meter management system, online customer connections, electronic combined issuance of vouchers for stock accountability. As we talk, we are in a position to account for each and every stock, borrowed nuts, transformers, by GPS as it leaves our stores to the last point in the field. And all the engineers know that one very well. So for that matter, UEDCL that is taking over the responsibility of UMEME, we are in the right direction as a government. All the takeovers that we've handled are deliberate, and they underline on the philosophy of the business, where we believe in connecting the customer and making that power available through the controls in place and the system that we are managing accordingly. So UEDCL business philosophy has 5 notions which you follow to the latter. We need to take a note that these are: connect the customer. We connect the customer online, and our people visit you without visiting our office. We make power available. Our power availability is up to the right regulatory environment. Manage energy losses. Where we operate is a low area, and we expect, based on our target of 14.59%. We shall achieve it. That is the target for energy losses for the year end December 2025. And I've worked out models and concepts with the management and the board that we shall be in a position with the investment requirement that you've put the regulator. We need to thank the regulator and the Minister of Energy and Minister of Finance for availing the financing that we shall need for that exercise. Then the other philosophy is collect the cash. We need to appreciate that in the value chain of electricity, the distributor is the converter of electrons into money. So, all the power generated by the generation company, transmitted by transmission company, end up into our network. And our obligation is to convert those electrons into money. Our cash collection is 100%. No shortcut. If we connect you on our network, you have to pay. And customers are paying. How we've deployed systems in place. We need to update members in the gathering and online that we have 99.9% of customers operating on prepaid, up to 500 kVA connections, medium voltage manufacturers, they are on prepayment, including government installations, police, barracks, and other agencies. Therefore, we are there to hit the road, and we assure the transmitters and the generators that the cash will be flowing. The investors on the generation side, they should be assured that they will be in a position to get and recover their investment accordingly. The last philosophy lies on promoting safety. We are sure and aware that the network we operate, the product that we sell, is fairly risky and dangerous to the population, so we manage it accordingly. So the transfer connection, during the process of taking over, through the guidance of Honorable Minister, an interim committee was established, chaired by the Honorable Minister of Energy, and on that committee, there are members from Attorney General, Joint Technical Committee, chaired by the PS. Then for us as UEDCL, we are handling the Asset Transfer Connection Committee with the UMEME, whose responsibility was reported to the Joint Technical Committee, chaired by the PS. We need to thank UMEME and the leadership of Celestino that the discussion, the transactions have moved on well, and today we are concluding the discussion that were happening in that environment. Honorable Minister, the management of UEDCL is also grateful for the support of the authority. We need to repeat this several times because they've done us a good job. But the main issue why we are very thankful to the regulator, that on the 31st of December 2024, we received our license and the tariff requirement and the parameters that we are supposed to operate. The processes are underway to hit the ball rolling. We have already commenced the procurement. Our stock is being filled. I can assure the population there were some pending connections from UMEME. Our warehouses are full. Tomorrow the 1st, we shall start deploying the logistics across the country. And within a period of 10 working days, all connections should be up and running. And we expect that in the next 2 to 3 months, all the pending connections will be cleared and we are up to speed. Our target for this year, in the next 12 months, we are supposed to connect up to 300,000 connections. We've done mechanisms and model. The good thing, more than 50% of the stock is in our warehouse, and we shall achieve that target. In regard to the talent management, Honorable Minister, UEDCL board and management treat this matter as serious as much as possible. Thus, we deployed the most fairness environment of recruitment. All the jobs that resulted into the new structure as approved by your leadership have been filled from the team that we've got from UMEME. The interviews were held in a combination of UEDCL leadership and the staff whom we came on appointing at different levels. So it was a balanced and shared responsibility, because we had to discuss the performance parameters which have been allocated by the regulator to us and the team that was recruiting. And we believe we've got the best team that is ready to take on the mantle and the exercise. For that matter, the current positions, which are approved of 2,712, have been fully handled up to 99.6. We're still remaining with 11 positions that we are trying to manage, but we believe by the end of business today, we shall be in a position to conclude that from the team that has applied and been interviewed. On the side of ICT, all the systems, both UMEME and UEDCL, shall be maintained. We've reviewed them, we've analyzed, and they are up and running. They will continue running up to beyond midnight without any interruption. All the assets of UMEME which has been in operation, we've done a stock, and they are fully registered in our books of accounts. Honourable Minister and members, we've also done an audit and review of all the offices which are previously run by UMEME. The good thing, out of the 51 offices which are currently occupied by UMEME, 26 belong to UEDCL, so they are our assets. We don't need to engage any other landlord other than engaging ourselves, which we've done. Then the balance, we've engaged the landlords whom have accepted to live with us, and they will remain open at the same time. Honourable Minister, as I head towards the end, we have also done an audit across the country for all the moving fleet, including laptops, computers, and as we speak today, the team that is across the country receiving the assets by end of business today, such that a stock is fully reconciled to what was audited during the year. However, I also need to assure the gathering and the Honourable Minister that all the assets which you've reviewed, like cars, land, trucks, motorbikes, they are fully registered in the books of UEDCL and the names of UEDCL. They're not in the names of UMEME, so we don't expect any asset to be lost. Therefore, UEDCL is grateful to UMEME management, the staff and the board for the support accorded during and before the transition. We have enjoyed a cordial relationship and look forward for more collaboration. As I conclude, Honourable Minister, I want to recognize the staff and management of UEDCL for the journey thus so far. We have spent sleepless nights to ensure that the transition is seamless, and it is so. I will forever be indebted to them because as the leader of the institution, I work in the support of the team through systems, and the systems I've achieved. In the same vein, but in a special spirit, I need to thank the board for the guidance that we've been receiving on a continuous basis, and we've succeeded. Honourable Minister, allow me to thank, finally, the employees of UMEME who participated in the interviews, in the recruitment process to make it a success. UEDCL is committed for improving reliability in the country by deploying all the investment resources that are fairly priced reasonable. And we have achieved and we have received the financing for the first 12 months, up to $74 million. This money is readily available. We are going to deploy it, and part of the monies that the procurements have started. So we believe that we are going to start on the good note, and in the next 12 months, a lot of activities are going to happen on the network. And we need to alert our customers. We shall be announcing accordingly where we are going to work and how we are going to execute for the inconvenience as we put the network up to speed with the current load that we are getting from the generation plants and the transmission environment. On the special note, allow me also to thank, finally, the Cabinet of Uganda, under the leadership of the President, for making the decision that we are taking over as a government institution to manage the affairs of the country, because power distribution, being a backbone of the country, it should be held by the government institution that's accountable, fully accountable to the population. And we believe and we commit ourselves, we shall deliver to the fulfillment and achieve the parameters that are approved by the licensee of Uganda. For God and my country, thank you for listening. Honourable Minister, before I leave the podium, allow me to invite briefly the Chairman, Board of Directors of Uganda Electricity Distribution Company to say a word, and I thank him for the job well done. Thank you.
The Honourable Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, the Honourable Minister of State, the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, colleagues, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I have a few words. First, because this day has been long coming. From the time the government made a decision to take over to have the asset retransferred to UEDCL, we have had very many interactions with all interested parties, with all stakeholders. I have seen, on the negative part, if you like, sometimes unpleasant communication. And no, a lot of it, but I believe it was in good faith. I believe it was in good faith. We have had very many meetings, some with the Honourable Minister and the Permanent Secretary, and I want to thank you. I want to thank you first for the guidance. I want to thank you for the trust. It didn't take a lot of convincing, but it meant a lot to the board of UEDCL. I want to thank you for the resources you have mobilized. They were, but I think they were all in good faith. I had actually wanted to say a lot. I won't. I know you are going to cabinet. Can I end by thanking you again? Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Another round of applause for the speakers. Honourable Minister, the Baganda said to Liba Kujukiza, in that past year you were canonized. Honourable Canon, thank you very much for that beautiful year. Allow me on a special note invite the Chief Executive Officer of the Electricity Regulatory Authority, Engineer Ziria Tiwalwa Wako. A round of applause as she steps on the stage. Thank you.
Thank you, Masters of Ceremony. Our chief guest, the Honorable Dr. Kanoni Ruthi Nankabirwa Sentamu, the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, the Honorable Minister of State for Energy, the Honorable Members of Parliament, especially from our own committee, the Environment and Natural Resources Committee, also from the Committee on National Economy and all the members of Parliament present, our dear Permanent Secretary, the technical head of the sector, and the staff from the sector, from the ministry, and all the other agencies. The chairperson, ERA, the regulator. Many times when they refer to the regulator, everyone looks at me. I'm not the regulator. Today the regulator is before you, and she will be undertaking her mandate in line with the provisions of Chapter 10 of the Electricity Act shortly after my remarks. The Director Audit, Kanoni Hiria, representing CPA Dwadi Call, the chairpersons of boards of sector agencies present. You've made us proud for witnessing this big switch. They've tagged it big switch. My colleagues, the captains of the industry, the managing directors and CEOs of the sector and government agencies, representatives of the other licensees. I've seen the NERECO here and many others. Thank you for being part of this historical event. The media fraternity, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Chief guest, allow me to start by introducing the regulator, my chairperson, Dr. Sarah Wasagali Kanavi. I take the beating, but she is the regulator. Now she has the mini regulators behind her. I only lead that team. Management and staff of ERA, I would have desired to mention you, name each of you, but please stand up in the interest of time. They are seated behind you, Mama. On this side, please stand up. ERA, management and staff of ERA, all of the directors are here and the managers are here. Thank you for turning up. Please take your seats. So those are the regulators. I'm nested. The chief regulator is there, and then those are the technical engineers behind the oversight of this industry. A chief guest with a sense of both accomplishment and reflection, we gather here today for the formal handover of the assets back to government of Uganda. This is a momentous occasion that marks the successful conclusion of the 20-year concession, the lease and assignment agreement with all the associated covenants that operationalized it, the support agreements, the licenses, name it, between the government of Uganda and UMEME Limited. Over the past 2 decades, the Electricity Regulatory Authority has played a pivotal role in supervising and regulating the management of these assets, ensuring their continued service to the Ugandans, ensuring that each party plays their role for the past 20 years. ERA has remained committed to the principles of efficiency, reliability, and affordability, while safeguarding the interests of the various parties. You have the consumers with diverse interests, you have the policymakers with diverse interests, you have the investors, the licensees with diverse interests. So we have been doing only that to balance the interests of the various stakeholders. Should the tariff be low, should the investments increase, should the standards be tightened, and all these have to be balanced to have a sustainable electricity supply industry. During this time, we have witnessed significant progress. We have seen the rehabilitation and upgrading of the electricity distribution infrastructure, the expansion of the network, improvement in operational efficiency, reduction in losses, as has been presented here by the MD UMEME. I can say it has been a learning experience. We've come a long way from the push-pull amplifier to cordial relationship of understanding the reason that we exist, the reason that we are paid. And I thank all of those who have played their part diligently. These achievements reflect not only the dedication of the sector players, but also the spirit of collaboration with the various sector stakeholders. As stipulated in the concession agreement, the time has come now that these assets revert to government ownership. This transition marks a natural progression in the evolution of the electricity supply industry and signals a new start for greater things. Watch the space. ERA has taken an active and supportive role to our parent ministry, the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development. Now, Minister, we thank you. We pick from all sources, from you to the sector and from the sector to you. We thank you for being present, for the call of duty, for serving selflessly. We really thank you. And through you, we thank your family that has stood in the gap as you run with this sector. This transition, once again, is supposed to ensure that there is smooth and transparent handover process. It has been a whole 5 years. I wish all the 5 years were like the last 1 month. There's a lot that has been happening. And the various ministries and government departments and agencies. I can't say only us as the electricity supply industry, but as they said, the Attorney General's Chamber, the Solicitor General, the Ministry of Finance, NEMA, to certify the state of environment of the assets that we are receiving. So the work has been done beyond the borders of the electricity supply industry. We are confident that the government of Uganda, through the Uganda Electricity Distribution Company, will continue to manage these assets efficiently and ensure their sustainable contribution to the development of the country and to the energy security and safety that the Ugandans are waiting for. We acknowledge with deep appreciation the leadership and support of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, the Cabinet, but to sing out in Cabinet our own Minister, Mama, the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development. I think we have a success rate of more than 90% at Cabinet. Every time we go there, we come out victors. Let's give her a round of applause. She prepares, she reads, she asks us to ensure that when we're on the floor, she is comfortable to take charge. So we thank you, engineer. We've birthed an engineer in our own minister. She speaks the engineering language before cabinet, and you don't feel like adding anything. And when she asks, we all confirm she has presented it effectively. Thank you for reading. Thank you for having the passion to understand the language of electrons. We also acknowledge the support of the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, support of the Attorney General, the Office of the Auditor General, without which we wouldn't be here, but more so the Parliament of the Republic of Uganda. You took the beating on our behalf, but we are here together to say Asante Sana, God has made it. Thank you very much. And through you to the Speaker of Parliament that has enabled us to achieve being here today. As UMEME relinquishes control of the electricity distribution assets today, we are appreciative of their services. A round of applause for UMEME and team. The chair is my good friend, I can say. So being a regulator is very difficult. You can have friends that you cannot respond to their invites. But he understands me very well, very strong, straightforward, very transparent and predictable. You do what you are supposed to do, you don't have to whisper to anybody. It will be done. And you get your decision clean. You don't do, you'll go